Hi everyone, this is Sineth here again. I'm the traveling mom boss. I've been traveling with my kids for the last 2 years on a budget, and this channel is all about how to travel on a budget with your kids. Today's video is all about how to get help when you have a negative experience with your Airbnb. Before I get into that, guys, I do want to let you know that I have a course on how to travel on a budget with your kids. My course will be available on October 1st. So if you're watching this October 1st or anytime after, please make sure you click in the description. And if you're watching it before October 1st, make sure you come back so you can check out that course. I have lots of tips and tricks on how to plan your budget-friendly vacation with your family. So make sure you check out that course if that's something you're interested in. So as I said, today's video is all about how to get help when you have a really bad experience with Airbnb. So I've been using Airbnb for like how long? I would say over 5 years. I have lots of experience with Airbnb. Most of them are good and some of them are not good at all. So I made this video because I had one experience that was horrendous, and the experience was basically I went into an apartment in Paris, and it was basically infested with rodents. And that's something you just don't want to see, especially when you're spending lots of money on the Airbnb that you're going to. We were actually going in a neighborhood that was a very touristy neighborhood, so it was a little bit more on the expensive side. So we were very disappointed in showing up to that Airbnb and seeing feces and different things at the Airbnb that was just horrible. I just want to let you guys know how to go about contacting your host and Airbnb to let them know what's going on so they can help you. So the first thing, when you notice there's anything about your Airbnb that was not in the description, if there's anything that you didn't expect, or if you're seeing feces or odors, or if the rooms are not what they described, like let's say they said it was 3 bedrooms or three separate bedrooms, but when you get there everything is just an open space, you do have to contact the host first. Before you do anything else, contact the host. You need to have a paper trail. The Airbnb has to be able to see that you did speak to the host and let them know you were not satisfied with what happened. So you don't want to go ahead and cancel your booking or curse the host out or send a horrible message. Don't do any of that. Just contact the host, let them know, hey, you said that there was 3 rooms and there's only one, or I'm seeing a cat in the home and you didn't say that. Whatever it is, make sure you contact the host to let them know you're not satisfied with the listing or the apartment, house, whatever that you're staying at. You can have documentation that you did let them know that you weren't satisfied. After speaking to the host, if whatever you discuss is not to your liking, if you feel like they're not being helpful, and if you want to leave and they're not willing to give you a refund, the next step is to contact Airbnb. I always recommend to call Airbnb first. I don't recommend sending a message. If you have time like that, or if you have money to just move on, you can send a message and wait for them to get back to you. But I always call second. When you call Airbnb, make sure you let them know that you did try to reach out to the host. My issue with my Airbnb experience was that I contacted the host, and the first thing was I wasn't able to reach her, and I was only able to reach someone else she was working with, and I don't even know who that person was. But I let them know that I wasn't satisfied, and they weren't really willing to help. They were saying something about coming to clean it up, and I didn't want to clean it up. I just wanted a refund and get out of there, and they weren't offering a full refund. So I got in touch with Airbnb. I let them know that I spoke to the host and they weren't willing to offer me a refund. Airbnb was able to go back and see my discussion with the host to know that I did do the first step, which is what they recommend you do first, because they want to see if you can resolve that problem on your own without getting them involved. Because to be honest with you, Airbnb doesn't really want to get involved. They just want to get their money. So when you're speaking to the Airbnb representative, you let them know that you did speak to the host, and you let them know what you're looking for. So if you're looking for a refund, let them know you're looking for a refund. The third thing that's going to happen is that Airbnb is going to reach out to the host as well to let them know that, okay, this person called me and they want a refund. Things can either go two ways. Either the host is going to reject it or they're going to agree. The host may want to reject your request for a refund, but I have to say you are entitled to a refund if anything on that Airbnb or in that Airbnb is not as described. Now, I just want to let you know there is a time frame of when you're eligible for that. If you're like a whole 2 weeks into your Airbnb, you may not be able to get that refund. You have to let Airbnb and the host, well, the host first, know immediately if there's anything wrong with that Airbnb. So from the moment you let them know, you're entitled to a refund from that very moment. If you're gonna wait a week later, Airbnb is just gonna be like, why didn't you let us know from the first day? When we contacted our host, she wasn't willing to give us a refund. She was telling us about cleaning and giving us 100%, $100 off, and we did not want that. So I let Airbnb know that that's not what I wanted. So you have to let them know what you're looking for, and you be adamant about what you want. So Airbnb is either gonna approve your 100% refund or they're going to offer you a different amount. I say no. You keep going and saying no, I want a 100% refund. You tell them like, I planned this trip for a long time. I have my kids with me, and hopefully the things that you're saying is a truth. But that's what I did. I told him I have my kids with me. I spent a lot of money for this trip. I don't have any more money to pay for somewhere else. I don't care how much money you have. You don't tell them you have the money. So you let them know you don't have any money to go anywhere else, and whatever money you do have is for food and activities. So that's what I did. I told them I don't have money to go somewhere else. This place was planned a month in advance and it was paid for a month in advance. So I want a full refund. If you feel like you're speaking to a Airbnb representative that's not so helpful or understanding, I would request to speak to another representative or even to a manager. But I would definitely try to work with the person first before doing that. But if you're feeling like they're just not being helpful, try to call back again to get in touch with another representative. And when you do speak to someone else, just let that person know that the other person was just not so helpful. So as I said, I did let them know that I didn't have the funds to go find another Airbnb right away. And also my funds that I did have available was for food and activities. So what Airbnb can do, they can do this, but they're not always gonna try to let you know, is they can pay for your hotel stay until you find a new Airbnb. They also can help you with finding a new Airbnb. So you let them know what your budget is or how much ever you paid for the other Airbnb, and they will help you find a new one, and they will also make sure they pay for your hotel stay while you're waiting for your new accommodation. So Airbnb will probably give you about 50% off of your hotel stay. That's what they usually offer, which is fine, but you want to make sure if you take that offer, try not to stay at the hotel more than a day or two. So they're most likely going to make you pay for it and then reimburse you. They also can, which they did for me, they gave us a credit towards our next Airbnb. So we actually were able to get a full refund and also get a $1,600 credit from Airbnb. And this was because of the whole inconvenience of everything that happened. So I want to recommend, when you're speaking to Airbnb, you don't give in right away. Also, make sure you're very respectful. Don't get loud and curse and use any type of terms or anything offensive when you're speaking to them, because they're not going to help you. Be honest, and also let them know it's urgent, you're with your family and you need help right away. And if you feel like they're not working fast enough, just keep on calling so they're on top of your case. When we were in Paris, we were in a whole different time zone from the representative from Airbnb. So I had to keep speaking to different people all the time to get my problem resolved, but I made sure that I was on top of it. I kept calling them, and that's what made them help me and give me a full refund and a credit on top of that. They even offered to pay for half of the hotel, but I just felt like I didn't want to just take too much, so I just took the credit and I got my full refund. So it's all about having patience, being on top of it, and also making sure that you have a paper trail of your conversation with your host. and having respect for the representative, your host, and everyone when you're speaking to them, because it can be a high stress situation. But to get the help that you need, you do have to just remain calm, even though inside you might be angry. That's the key to getting the help that you need. And you guys, I'm sorry for any negative experience you've had with Airbnb, but you can come out of it and get your full refund back and also be able to get a new place. I have to say, if you did have a bad experience, don't give up on Airbnb. I still use Airbnb because there's always someone who is just not great at hosting. So you don't want to give up on Airbnb in general, because it is a great resource to find great budget friendly accommodations. But if you do have a bad experience, please make sure you use the tips I provided, because they can be very helpful with resolving your issue. So you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you in my next video.